Hello guys, I'm watching his story. Who is his story? People say he's better than Zach D Films. I don't believe it. Zach D Films is a really good YouTuber, I'm not gonna lie. Look at some of his some of his shorts. What's this one?
I was walking to meet my friend when suddenly I stepped on a loose manhole cover and fell straight down into the sewer. I screamed and landed hard in freezing water. When I looked up, the manhole I'd fallen through was way too high to reach. I yelled, "Help! Somebody!" But no one saw me fall in. Then I heard a deep rushing sound getting louder. Before I could move, a wall of water slammed into me and swept me down the tunnel. As I was being dragged, I wondered how the hell was I...
That would hurt.
going to get out of here. The current dragged me through the dark, slamming me into the walls. I went under and swallowed the nasty poopy water, kicking as hard as I could just to get my head up because I couldn't swim. I tried to reach for my phone to call for help, but it was gone. The water had ripped it right out of my pocket, and I had no way to contact anyone. Then I saw a ledge up ahead and attempted to grab it, but my body slammed into the concrete, and I felt something crack in my ribs. I screamed, but pulled...
Oh my god. All of these videos are going to be like... hurting himself.
myself up anyway, inch by inch, until I was finally out of the water. I laid there soaked and shaking.
Somebody else up.
I had no phone, no way out, and the manhole was probably a mile behind me by now. Nobody knew I was down here, and I thought I was going to die being covered in poop and pee-pee. But then I heard voices above me. "Hey, he's down here!" And a flashlight hit my face. Firefighters lowered a rope and pulled me up out of the sewer. When I finally got to the street, gasping, my friend was standing right there. "Dude, you smell like but you're alive." I was confused. "How did you even know I was down here?" "I saw the whole thing. I was waiting for you across the street when you just dropped into the ground and I called 911. The firefighters said it took so long because the water swept me so far. I almost cried of relief until my friend held up his phone. He recorded me falling and laughed. "Is it okay if I post it?" I was walking to meet my friend when suddenly...
What? So the friend saved his life and asked if he could... Okay, I don't know what the ending is. Look, his story, we need to talk. This is why I made this video. This official his story. A bunch of his story videos. So like, reacting it to his story Steak. His story, a bunch of YouTuber, Nenye, Royal Peril, Louis A, and the other one. Yeah, I got a lot of ideas from them. What is this?
A woman put her dollar into the hospital vending machine, but the candy bar she selected got caught on the coil and wouldn't dispense. She immediately...
I hate when that happens. I get so mad. So I just have to put another dollar in.
started punching the glass, but the candy just wouldn't fall. I went to the vending machine beside her and got my own snack cleanly, and when I looked over, the woman was now on her knees reaching her arm up through the dispenser slot. I asked,
What? What? How does your arm even... I can't.
"Why don't you just use this vending machine?" But she didn't even look up. "I want this one." I thought, screw it, and put my own arm in the dispenser slot to help her, but the candy was too far away. I
just ran out of there and said, and she was like, "Hey, can you help me?" And I'm like, "Nah, I need to eat my candy."
for a wire hanger, but after it still wasn't long enough, I suggested we rock the vending machine back and forth. She grabbed one side, I grabbed
That would work. I sometimes do that.
the other, and we rattled as hard as we could. She kept repeating, "I don't have much time," but the candy still wouldn't fall, and the woman started tearing up and shook the vending machine like she was angry at the world. I laughed because I couldn't understand why she wouldn't just use the other machine. Then she started trying to crack the glass with the wire hanger.
What? You're gonna...
A nurse walking by told her, "Ma'am, stop, or we'll have to call security and press charges." But she replied, "I don't care," and kept trying to break the glass. The nurse walked away, and suddenly, the woman drove her elbow through the glass. It shattered it.
What? Okay, now she's finally gonna get the candy. Okay, prediction time. She's gonna get the candy, and then she's gonna get the candy, and then she's gonna get arrested. I bet.
Cut her, but she didn't even flinch and pulled out the candy bar, mouthing, "Thank God." She just turned around and walked into a room 5 feet away. I saw her sit down next to a terminally ill boy. She unwrapped the candy bar and held it to his mouth. The boy took a tiny bite and smiled. He finished the candy bar, and his monitors flatlined. When she walked out of the room, I told I was sorry for her loss, and she instantly hugged me. "That was my son's favorite candy bar. Thank you for helping him enjoy his last few minutes alive." I realized what seemed like a joke to me was her granting her dying child his last wish.
Didn't you just kill him? Okay. That was
A
good
woman
video.
put her dollar in.
Good short. Let's see his most popular shorts. History most popular shorts. History Chester. Who's Chester? Who is Chester? I took revenge on Chester. Full story. Let's watch the one 2 months ago and then watch the video.
I knocked out the smallest, weakest kid in school. While I was bench pressing, he cracked my ribs with a 5-pound dumbbell.
Oh my god. Chester's a menace. Jeez.
And smiled. That was Chester. He was 4'11", 85 pounds, and was the worst bully I ever met.
85.
His two brothers were 6'6", 300
Oh my,
pounds of pure muscle. Nobody touched Chester
strong.
because they were terrified of his big brothers. I told the teacher, but he never believed that Chester had the strength to actually hurt anyone. I walked around with 2 cracked ribs for 3 months.
Go to the hospital, dude. You need to be in the hospital, not walk around with the broken ribs.
And couldn't laugh without wincing. A week later, my history teacher stepped out. Chester whispered into my ear, "Have you ever felt a tiger's claw?" Then
I have a bad feeling about this. Is he gonna scratch his back?
stabbed a pencil an inch deep into my back. I bled out onto the floor and
Oh my god. An inch deep. Oh my. Chester. I hate Chester. I already hate Chester.
everyone gasped.
We are. How many minutes of this video? Like 14 seconds.
Bled out onto the floor and everyone gasped. I needed 7 stitches. My teacher asked the class if anyone saw it. Every single student looked away. Chester smiled again. He was loving this power. PE baseball. Chester slammed a metal bat across my knee. I limped for a month.
Oh my. Chester shouldn't be able to get this. Dude, you should get revenge on him when you're feeling better. Like when you comes. Attempted murder, bro. I know. Classic bully story. What do you mean classic? He broke his ribs. He knocked him. He hit him with a metal bat. And, like, yeah. What do you mean classic? Comment. Should we comment? How is Chester this strong? How is Chester this strong? Good.
I still feel it when it rains. I didn't tell my mom. I didn't tell anyone. I knew I had to handle this.
What do you mean? You should tell your dad. If I told my dad, he would beat Chester's butt. If he knew what I was going to say.
Myself, so I started kickboxing 5 days a week for 6 months straight. I sparred with semi-pros, got beaten up badly at first, then slowly started landing shots and earned their respect. I stored every one of Chester's hits in the back of my mind. I had a college scholarship and couldn't afford to risk losing it, so I waited for the
What if you just put another dumbbell on your ribs?
last day of school. I walked up to him and said, "Hey Chester, have you ever felt a tiger's claw?" He looked confused. Before he could say a word, I threw everything, punches, kicks, elbows, and laid him out on the concrete, unconscious, bleeding out of his
Oh my god.
smug face. A crowd.
That is insane. I bet his brothers are gonna come and then he's gonna beat them up too.
Gathered and went completely silent. Then his 2 brothers pushed through the crowd and got in my face. "Try that shit on us. Go ahead, try it." I looked up at both of them and said, "You might kill me, but I'll take one of you with me to the grave. I swear it." They went quiet, glanced at each other, then walked away. For as big as they were, they had never actually been tested. Chester had 17 broken bones and ate through a straw for
You just left your baby brother on the concrete bleeding out of his mouth. What?
4 months. No charges were pressed because even his own parents knew he had it coming. When I think about that day, I still get the warm and fuzzies.
Okay. What is this?
In Hartford,
Wait, I never
Chase is
watched
proud to
this.
root for
I
the
think-
home team because they're our team too. We
I
cheer
think
for
my
the
brother
bleacher.
was
Bo
watching
and
it on
Cody
my.
giggled from the door. I just wanted to change my
Okay,
clothes after
not
PE
bad.
and get to science class without any troubles. Then, as I was sitting on the bench, one shoe off, one shoe on, I heard Chester Marshall's voice carry across the empty room.
I have a prediction. What's his name? Chester is gonna destroy him in the scene. And then he's gonna fight back and kill Chester again.
Heard you said something about me in third period. Beach. I hadn't. I never said anything about anyone. I felt my stomach in knots. Turned around to see Chester 6 inches from my face. All 4'11", 110 pounds of him. His big brother Bo had the locker room door closed as he watched with his...
They're buff. Oh my god. They look like they should be graduated.
Arms crossed. Bo's twin brother Cody leaned against the lockers, looking bored. Both of them were 6'8", 300 pounds each, and were starting linemen on the football team. They were both 20 years old and still walking the halls of my high school like a pair of tired bears, because every time the school tried to graduate them, they punched somebody and got held back a year. These were the notorious Marshall brothers. Chester knew no one would mess with him because they were terrified of his massive brothers. Chester looked at his right hand that had a scorpion tattoo on the inside.
Okay, trying to be tough. Chester's trying to be tough. What's he gonna say? I'm gonna get a scorpion and put it in your pants. What?
Of his wrist. Have you ever felt a scorpion sting?
Never mind.
I stayed still, thinking that if I didn't respond, I could just disappear, and it would maybe be better. I was wrong because he slapped me hard across the face. My fists clenched up. Pure rage flooded through me. I felt the muscles in my arms lock and my weight shift forward, and for half a second, I almost let myself tear his head off. Then I saw his massive, monstrous brothers both watching me very closely. Chester smiled, grabbed a fistful of my hair, and drove my face into the metal of the locker room
Never mind, he's not gonna fight back.
door. The sound of my nose breaking was like someone snapping a pencil under a towel. Blood ran straight down my chin and started dripping onto the tiles. His knee came up into my stomach, folding me over. He whacked me across the back of my head with 2 more punches, sending me down to the ground. Then he started kicking. 3, 4, 5 times in the ribs, his sneakers pounding into me. I curled up because there was nothing else I could do, and I emotionally detached because I had to, in order to deal with this. Stay down, piss boy. Bo and Cody giggled from the doorway. I love it when he has nicknames for his victims.
His victims. What do you mean, Cody? His victim? What are you talking about? Where's that bow? I don't know. They look the exact same. What do you mean? His victim. And who's Piss Boy? Why are they calling him Piss Boy?
Yeah, wait until Dad gets home and hears about this. He's gonna love it. The whole thing lasted about 90 seconds, and then Chester spit on me and then walked out. I lay on the blood-wet tile and listened to their sneakers fade down the hallway. I got up slowly, cleaned my face at the sink with brown paper towels, and stuffed wet tissue up my nostrils until the bleeding stopped. I felt like such a pathetic, helpless loser. Then I realized that this had gone on for over a year, and I needed to report it. I went and told the principal, and he was shocked. Chester, you expect me to believe that little shrimp is actually hurting anyone? He's one of our best students. Don't you have anything better to do? Get out of my office. On my way out, I bumped into Chester's father, Wayne Marshall. Watch.
What was that? Wait. I saw a picture. His office.
Shrimp is actually hurting anyone?
Remember Chester's dad we just saw? I think it was the thing of Chester's dad.
He's one of our best students. Don't you have anything better to do? Get out of my office.
That's the principal of Chester's dad. Look.
On my way
Chester's
out,
dad.
I bumped into Chester's
Chester's-
father, Wayne Marshall.
Chester's
Watch where
dad.
you're going. He giggled and then hugged my principal. I was horrified. No wonder
Are they gay?
he backed up Chester. He was friends with his dad. To make matters even worse,
Yes.
Wayne had just come out of prison after a 10-year stint for manslaughter. The principal saw me staring at both of them and nudged Wayne. This dumb kid actually just told me that Chester is picking on him. They both busted up laughing so hard that even the secretary joined in. I felt so small. Then Wayne called out, "Yeah, all 4 feet, nothing of him." They cracked up even harder as the principal blurted out, "Stop, stop, you're gonna make me piss myself." The entire office erupted in laughter. I shook my head and left feeling hopeless. I felt invisible, like I didn't matter or exist to anyone. I had no one else to turn to, so I went home that night, sat across the kitchen table from my dad, who was an ex-Marine.
Yep, I predicted it. He was gonna tell his dad, and then Dad's gonna beat his ass.
And I told him everything. He didn't say anything for a full minute, then looked at me with a cold, hard glare that I had never seen before. He stood up and grabbed his keys off the counter. "Get in the truck." We drove for 30 miles in silence. Then he glanced
Oh,
over
God.
at me. This is on me. I thought I had trained you better to defend yourself. I'm really sorry, son. I think it's because after your mother died, I didn't want to be too hard on you. But that's gonna change now. That made me really sad because I knew he had always tried to do his best. I didn't ask where we were going, and he didn't tell me. We finally pulled into a strip mall parking lot. The sign over one of the doors read, Combat Sports. Through the front window, I could see a boxing ring, a row of heavy bags, and a man inside taping another fighter's hands. I felt really insecure and scared. I'm too busy to train you in the way you should be trained, so I'm handing you off to a fellow Marine. Dad walked me through the door, and the man came over. He was maybe 5'10", lean, with cauliflower ears, and the kind of nose that's been broken so many times, it was barely there. It's great to see you, Rico. They shared a hug. So, this is your boy, huh? Yeah, he needs to learn how to handle himself. The real shit. Don't go easy.
Welcome to Eden.
Did you know the Bible can now be watched? Eve, what did you do?
What is this?
Try it.
Drink from it.
On him. Rico looked me up and down. He pressed on my shoulders, felt my hands, and noticed the way I was standing. Rico didn't believe in conditioning you slowly. He believed in throwing you into the deep end and seeing if you remembered how to swim. The first day he made me jump rope for 20 straight minutes. I couldn't do it, and he didn't care. He stood there with a stopwatch, and every time I tripped, start over. By the end of the 20 minutes, I was on the ground, throwing up into a bucket while he made notes on a clipboard. I looked at myself in the mirror that night and saw Chester's ugly face taunting me. You ain't nothing but a weak-ass little piss boy. I felt terrified that I wouldn't be able to do this. The second day, he put...
Oh my God. He's training to kill Chester. Kill Chester. Why don't you just get a gun and then hide the body so you don't know? Big brain. Could do it at the back of an alley or something so they don't know.
me in front of a heavy bag and showed me how to throw a jab. Just a jab. For an hour. Left arm out, retract, left arm out, retract, until my shoulder was cooked. Every jab I threw, I saw Chester's face laughing at me on the heavy bag. You missed, piss boy. I punched the bag harder and harder, using his words as...
That was AI. Did you see? Look on the punching bag. Chester's face looks so AI.
until my shoulder was cooked. Every jab I threw, I saw Chester's face laughing at me on the heavy bag. You missed, piss boy. I punched the bag harder.
So AI.
Harder, using his words as continuous motivation. The third day, he put gloves on me and we sparred. Or at least, that's what he called it. I called it being hit in the face and the liver for 10 minutes by a 40-year-old former pro who was holding back just enough not to kill me. By the end of the round, I was crying. He pulled the gloves off my hands. Save your tears for someone who cares. See you tomorrow. I went back the next day, and the next. I'd still get emotional after getting hit. Rico pulled me aside. It's not just about the physical. You're gonna get tested mentally, and that'll be the hardest test you ever face. I understood and started to harden on the inside. I trained 6 days a week for months and months. Then one Tuesday, I looked at myself in the mirror, and my shoulders weren't the same
He
shoulder
still has the broken nose.
I had in January. My jaw was set differently. There's a vein running down my forearm that wasn't there before, and my abs are starting to show. I went to school and saw Chester walking with his big brothers down the hallway and thought to myself, just wait until the last day of school, you piece of crap. There's a tornado coming. As I kept sparring, I started to find the rhythm and find the open.
He's gonna throw Chester into an active, tornado. Not an active, but is he gonna throw Chester into, tornado? That would be so funny. Like, give me this whole video to just throw Chester's whole entire family into a tornado and then never see them again. That'd be so cool.
I knocked a semi-pro onto his back with a left hook he never saw coming. He got up laughing, slapped me on the shoulder, and told Rico, he's getting good. Rico nodded. Through all of it, I said nothing at school. I let Chester keep taking my lunch money. He took it on a Tuesday, and I handed it over without a word, my eyes staring down at the floor, the way I had been doing it ever since sophomore year. He shoved me into a locker on the way out of English class, and I bounced off it and kept walking like I always had. He poured Coke down my back in the cafeteria one day, and I sat there and let it run down into the waistband of my jeans. I didn't move, and I didn't speak. I wanted him to think that nothing had changed. I wanted him relaxed. I wanted him sloppy. I was stoic.
That is big brain. Like, you want to rush and then...
Quietly cold, and had nothing but revenge on my calendar. June 14th, the last day of school. That date was the only thing I cared about. June 14th was a half day. Everyone was hanging out in the courtyard. Kids running around signing each other's yearbooks and crying about how much they'll miss everyone. I walked through the building with my backpack slung over one shoulder, and I didn't sign anybody's yearbook. I didn't care about anyone, not even Lauren anymore, who pretended I didn't exist my entire senior year. I went out of the side door by the gym, and I found Chester behind the building, smoking a cigarette next to the dumpster.
Smoking? He's like 8. He's like 10.
Saw me, and he gave me that same little smirk. "What's up, piss boy? Want another ass whooping?" He shoved me in the chest. I let myself rock back a half step. He shoved me again.
You're beating up a kid that's taller than you. Okay?
Harder. I stayed quiet. I let my hands hang loose at my sides. He wound up for a slap. I smiled, feeling excitement I never knew I could feel. "Hey, Chester, have you ever felt a scorpion sting?" He stared at me, confused. 14 months of pure, murderous rage formed within my gut as my left jab sprung out. 7 months of left arm out, retract, left arm out, retract. It caught him flat on the nose, and I heard the cartilage snap. His head jolted back. Before he could process what had happened, I came over the top with a right cross that caught his temple, rotated his whole skull on his neck, and dislocated his jaw. He started to fall.
Dislocated his jaw? Oh my god. That's crazy. Is this whole video like trying to beat up Chester? Or 8 and 20 seconds and then the video is 21 minutes. What's gonna happen next? Is it just Chester's funeral and him making fun of him at his funeral? What?
He didn't get to finish falling because another left hook slammed into his ribs on the way down, cracked 3 of them, and folded him sideways. As his head dropped to about waist level, a knee came up and caught him under the chin. He hit the concrete with a loud thud. I have never felt such deep satisfaction. I stood over him, breathing slow and even, the way Rico had taught me to breathe in the ring, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then I heard a loud guttural yell. "What the hell?" I turned around and saw Bo and Cody charging towards me with rage in their eyes and clenched fists. I felt the fear grip my throat, but I put my fists up and braced myself. They rushed towards me, and right before they reached me, they stopped. They both wanted to hit me, but hesitated. They froze. Both of them were deeply conflicted with what to do. Hit me like that.
Gosh, I'm so sorry. Hey, name's Lene. Just Lene. Looks like I'm your new classmate here at Star Torch Prep. So, nice to the new girl,
His arms out. "Come on, tough guy. Hit me like that." Cody pulled up next to him. "Yeah, hit one of us. Do it. I dare you." I was terrified for a few seconds. Then I understood perfectly. "You kids can't take a swing at me, can you? You'll both be expelled, probably end up in jail." By the look in their eyes, I could tell I was right. I smiled. "You need me to swing first, then you can swing and call it self-defense." I grinned, flipped them off, stepped over an unconscious Chester, and walked away. I
Why
never
do they
set
keep leaving Chester on the ground? I don't know.
foot in that high school again. I heard later that Chester was rushed to the hospital. My dad
Good.
was waiting on the porch when I got home. I sat down next to him on the steps, and I told him what I'd done. He nodded once. Good. I was happy as hell that night. I woke up thinking that I finally had a whole new life
Yeah.
with nothing but happiness and joy to look forward to. Then I got a call from my cousin Sarah that works as a nurse at the local hospital. "Hey, are you the one that beat up some kid named Chester?" "Yeah. How did you know?" "His father, Wayne, is here, along with his 2 big brothers. He has a broken jaw, a broken nose, 3 broken ribs, and a severe concussion. He's gonna need to be fed through a straw." "Good. Well, I'm calling because when his dad saw him, he swore vengeance. I mean real murderous vengeance. And he knows it was you." I hung up, terrified. Wayne was a vicious ex-criminal who spent his whole life.
Oh god. Is the rest of the video him running around the town with him like in his dad's car. His dad is driving him around the car and they're just chasing him with another car. That would be sick. I don't know.
In and out of prison. I immediately told my dad about Wayne, and he knew exactly who he was, and tensed up. Shit. I got even more nervous when I saw my dad turned cold. A day later, a black pickup truck drove by with tinted windows. Then an hour later, the same black pickup drove by, but this time, there was a red pickup truck right behind it. Both trucks slowed down at our mailbox, then peeled out and sped off. My dad pulled me inside. "Remember when I showed you how to handle the shotgun and the rifle?" I swallowed my fear. "Yes, sir. Refresh your memory."
Oh my god. They're gonna shoot him. Good morning.
It's your birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, I know.
Are you sleepy good?
Yeah, it was good.
Memory, because these guys aren't playing around.
Your long day yesterday?
Yeah. Okay. Are they gonna shoot him? They might shoot him. Oh no.
I grabbed the guns out of the closet and went through loading, aiming, and unloading. I readjusted
Yeah.
the scope on the
They're
rifle
gonna
and
shoot
got it
him,
ready
okay.
while my
They're
dad
gonna
checked
shoot
around the
the
perimeter
dad
of our
and the
house.
brothers.
He then checked all the locks on the doors
Why is
and
there
handed
two
me rubber
cars?
buckshot bullets. We want them stopped, not dead. That gave me some sense of relief because I didn't want murder on my conscience. Look, son, you did your part in this. You stood up for yourself and did what's right. Now it's my turn to let these assholes know that we won't be messed with. So I need you to stay upstairs. I was confused and mad. What? Why? Because fighting someone in hand-to-hand combat is a very different thing than dealing with weapons.
talk
But
to
you've
my
been
mom
training me on
later,
how to
that's
shoot
why.
ever since I was 3. I understand that, but it's my final decision. I can't have you getting into any real trouble over this. If shit gets really bad, I will be the one to handle it, not you.
W Dad. He's sacrificing himself for his son. That's W Dad. W. Type W Dad in the chat. Not in the chat, in the comments. Because this isn't live. Do it. Do it right now. Okay. Did it? Okay, good.
Remember, real strength is restraint. Hurting people is easy. Knowing when not to is hard. I knew I couldn't argue with him when he gave me that look. Turn out every light in
No!
the house. If they come in here, we'll still know where everything is and have the advantage. I went upstairs, turned out all my lights, cracked open my window just a bit so I could hear someone coming, and I waited. I only had my cell phone that was casting any light if I needed it. The next several minutes were completely silent, except for the eerie hum of our refrigerator. I could hear and feel my heart pounding in my chest. A few seconds later, I noticed my
Oh no. No services.
cell phone had no service. They must have
Did they, I think I know what they did. They broke the power box behind their house. Did they cut off their power? Oh no, this is gonna get bad. I know. They cut off their power.
cut our Wi-Fi connection at our electrical box, which
Oh
meant we
my
couldn't
God.
call the cops.
Yeah.
Then my stomach dropped when I heard footsteps coming from the outside. I quietly looked out of the edge of my window blind and saw Wayne
Who's the baldy guy? Holding up.
Marshall, Bo, Cody, and what I assumed was Wayne's brother, who was a massive tattooed monster of a man. They were all carrying handguns and shotguns, and I'd bet my life that they weren't loaded with rubber bullets. I quickly turned away, having never felt terror that deeply coursed through my veins. I looked out again and saw Wayne pound on our front door
I
and
thought
call
this
out.
was like Q's story of him getting revenge on Chester and just like giving a couple punches and just like the end. Not a whole lot, not guns and shooting.
Your boy has a debt to pay. My son is on life support from a concussion that he did not deserve. He's an innocent, fragile, small kid that your son bullied. I shook my head in disgust at how bad of a lie that was. So you're gonna hand over that dickhead son of yours, and we're gonna beat his little ass into oblivion, and you're gonna watch. Or else we'll come in there and take out whoever we need to. And we are not leaving this property until justice is served. I felt a burning mix of fear and rage boiling up in me. My dad wasn't having it. I don't know what kind of lies you've been told about your angel of a son, but it's all bullshit. For over the last 2 years, that tiny bully tortured and beat up my son every damn day at school, and those big brothers of his were helping. I grinned, proud that I had an awesome dad who had my back. Then I heard Cody chime in. He's lying, Dad. We both saw his kid beat up on Chester because he's so small. Wayne called out even louder. It looks like you and I are at an impasse and have different understandings of what has occurred. So I'm gonna give you 10 seconds before we bust this door down, and I am not leaving here until justice is served, and I bring that little piss boy to the brink of death. I felt a chill travel up my spine. He wasn't kidding, and he was willing to follow through. That scared the crap out of me. My father wasn't afraid at all. I'm gonna warn you redneck assholes one time. If you take one step inside my house, you will be fired upon. And just so you're aware, I was planning to arm myself with rubber bullets. Well, those have been switched out to real bullets. So you will be taking your own life in your hands if you bust in here. There was a cold silence. I felt them hesitate after hearing that. I peeked outside and saw Wayne signal to Cody and Bo to head around to the back. The uncle went to the side of the house, and Wayne started kicking in at the door. Our house was old, and the wooden door wouldn't hold up for very long. Each kick he landed, I heard the wood splinter and crack. Then I heard the glass of our side window crash through. The fragile quality of my house made me feel so vulnerable to outside forces. There was no protection, and I hated that Dad wanted me to stay up here. I paced frantically, desperately wanted to go down and help him, so I grabbed my shotgun and waited at the top of the stairs. I looked down and couldn't see where my dad was. Then Wayne's boot busted through the front door. I got startled. Then I saw Wayne reach in, unlock it from the inside, and swing open the broken door. Only moonlight was casting any light into the room, and I thought to myself, will this be my last night on Earth? Wayne entered, shotgun aimed. Then I saw Cody and Bo climb in through the side window and heard the back door getting pounded in by their uncle. I panicked, never felt that.
Why didn't you just go through the broken window? You just... What? I don't... That uncle's stupid. I'm not gonna lie.
Much fear in my life, not only for myself, but for my dad, who was only one man versus four. Then Wayne looked up towards me. Come out wherever you are. Pop, pop. I heard 2 loud shots, looked down, and saw my dad had shot Wayne twice in the gut. He keeled over in pain and dropped his shotgun. There wasn't any blood, which meant my dad still used rubber bullets. I was relieved to see that, but grew even more fearful when I thought that his brothers and the uncle would retaliate against my dad. Cody saw me at the top of the stairs and started rushing up towards me. I held my breath, readied myself, moved to the side of the hallway, waited for him to come up, and as he stepped over the last step, I slammed the hardest roundhouse kick across his face that I've ever thrown in my life. I heard the bone of his nose bust as he tumbled back down the stairs in a heap and smacked into the floor at the bottom. I heard him yell out in agony, looked down, and saw that he had landed wrong on his right leg and broke it. It was crooked and mangled. I felt vindicated because it was the perfect kick, then fell back into sheer terror when Bo aimed his gun up at me and fired 3 times. My ears were ringing, heart pounding out of my chest. My dad called out, "Put that gun down right now, son." He was talking to Bo. "I'll take out your father if you don't." Bo hesitated and turned around to see my dad standing behind Wayne with his shotgun aimed at his neck. "If you take any more shots at my son, I will end your father. Do you hear me?" I was amazed and alarmed at how calm my dad's voice was when he said that. Then everything took a turn for the worse when their uncle tackled my dad from behind and
Oh no. Why didn't you shoot him?
slammed him down to the ground.
No.
He had snuck in from the back
No.
door. Wayne, the uncle, and Bo all aimed their guns down at my dad. I froze,
His dad
panicked.
is cooked.
I couldn't just let them hurt my dad. Wayne kicked my dad a few times in the ribs and looked up at me at the top of the stairs. "You better get down here, boy, or else your little daddy's gonna be paying a visit to an early grave." Cody was still at the bottom of the stairs, unable to move at all. My dad glanced up at me, still so eerily calm. "Don't you dare come down here, son. Don't worry about me. I'll be all right." Wayne took his shotgun, stuck a knee in my dad's chest, and aimed the weapon in his face, while Bo and the uncle held him down. I was so scared that they would hurt him. I wanted to cry, but I held it back. Wayne looked up at me. "I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to get down here, boy, or I'll end him. I've done it many times before. I'll do it again. 5, 4, 3. I had no idea what to do, but didn't feel like I actually had a choice. I knew that I had to give in, so I tossed my gun down the stairs. "All right, take it easy. I'm coming down." My dad barked. I said, "Don't come down here." I barked at him. "I won't sit back and let them hurt you, Dad. I'm coming down." I slowly walked down the stairs and stood in front of them with my hands up. My dad was laying on his back and had positioned himself near Wayne's legs. I made eye contact with my dad and was searching for some type of signal, but didn't see one. My fear grew in intensity, and I started mentally preparing myself for what's to come. I could barely breathe and felt a quiet adrenaline coursing through my blood.
And we've got Premier League action coming right up. And he takes up.
I was about to take the worst beating of my life to save my dad. So be it. I made my way closer to Wayne. Bo and the uncle were standing on both sides of me. I glared at Wayne with a quiet, focused rage. Chester was the worst bully our school had ever encountered, and I think deep down, you know the truth about it. I hadn't ever hurt anyone my entire life until your son brought nothing but violence and hatred toward not just me, but every kid in the school, boys and girls. And your other 2 sons not only allowed it, they supported it. Wayne smiled as if he was proud of what they did. I raised them to be tough. If you can't stand the heat, get the hell out of the kitchen. So you think hurting girls is them being tough, huh? Wayne wasn't about to back down. The bitch probably deserved it. Bo and Cody laughed. That enraged me. I thought to myself, they might get the best of me, but I will take them to the grave with me. So help me God. Wayne gestured at Bo. Grab him. Take him out back. It's time to enjoy the sweet taste of justice. This whole situation tested my will. This is what Rico was talking about. This was the ultimate mental test, and I was prepared. I knew that I needed to act quickly, so I nodded at my dad, giving him a signal. I took a long, deep breath in, knowing we only had one chance at survival. My dad nodded back, so I quickly threw a spinning side kick into Bo's ribs and heard 3 distinct cracks. He keeled over in agonizing pain. His ribs definitely busted. At the same moment, my dad grabbed the uncle's leg, tripped him, wrapped his legs around his neck from below, and put him in a strangling chokehold. He was unconscious within seconds. Wayne was the last man standing. He saw that both of his sons were taken out and realized that the uncle was also unconscious, so he aimed his shotgun at me, and I didn't have the leverage to attack him. I wasn't close enough. I froze, felt abject terror. He grinned, started to pull the trigger. Then my dad swept his feet out from under him, causing him to fall forwards, drop the gun, and face plant into the hardwood floor. Wayne went to reach for his shotgun, so I took a step towards him and pretended his head was a soccer ball. "Hey Wayne, have you ever felt a scorpion sting?" He glanced up at me, confused. "That's something your under the sun used to ask me." I took a step and kicked him in the side of the head so hard that he was knocked out for over 20 minutes. I helped my dad up and embraced him. I've never felt more relief.
I didn't pause a lot and listen. Oh my god. I was scared his dad was gonna go. Oh my god. That was...
And satisfaction in my life. The police finally arrived and carted all 4 of these idiots out on stretchers. 2 days later, a police officer called me at home, and I put him on speaker so my dad could hear. A judge has put Wayne back in federal prison for another 10-year stint for attempted murder. His brother and his sons will all be joining him for 5 years. Thank you, officer. A month later, I walked across the graduation stage in my blue gown with a tassel on my head, and I saw the principal. He had heard what happened with Chester's family, and he put his hand out to shake mine. He had a look of empathy and was hoping that I had forgotten that he did nothing to help me. No hard feelings, right, son? I ignored his hand.
What? If I do that, I'll kick him in the... and run away. And then when Chester's there, I'll slap him so hard he would, like, knock out.
And flipped him off. Eat a dick. His face turned green with embarrassment because I made sure all the other teachers heard that. Then I walked past Chester, who was also graduating. He was still really weak and sitting off to the side. His jaw was wired shut. I leaned down to him and whispered, "When I think about how bad I beat your ass, it gives me the warm and fuzzies."
That was...
This is his story, and I have a problem with him because
That was from this one, look.
I knocked out the smallest, weakest kid in school. While were pressed because even his own parents knew he had it coming. When I think about that day, I still get the warm and fuzzies.
The warm and fuzzies. Yeah. Okay, which one should I watch next? Video. Haunted by the tribe that eat humans. Can connect a government. Rejoin the gang that killed my girlfriend. My best friend stole my life. My wife cheated on me, then lost everything. Mafia kidnapped me. I want to watch this. What's Mafia kidnapped?
If Suarez can be a fan now,
10 days
and
ago.
anyone can be a great fan
We
with
need
Walmart,
it.
then why not make a video game about fandom?
We need Netflix.
I can tell you're excited.
We need
Let's
Netflix.
show them the demo.
I stood at the grill in our backyard, flipping burgers and listening to the
I've
laughter
seen
of
this
close.
one. I don't want to watch that one. My uncle's have never defend the quiet girl.
I drove home so excited that I get to surprise my beautiful wife and 5-year-old daughter. I honestly felt like the luckiest guy alive. I came home early from a business trip and had bought a huge bouquet of her favorite red roses and chocolate truffles. I rushed inside, thrilled beyond belief. When I entered, my daughter rushed out of her bedroom and hugged me in tears. "I'm so happy you're back, Daddy. Hey, darling, what happened? Why are you crying?" She just shook her head, not wanting to say. "Well, look at what I got you." I pulled a brand new teddy bear out of my bag and she hugged it tightly. "Where's your mommy?" Her eyes bulged in fear. "She's in her room with her friend." I thought, that's weird. I held her huge bouquet in my hands, entered the hallway, and approached the closed bedroom door and opened it. Surprise! I had to adjust my eyes when I saw my wife sitting in bed next to another man, sharing a cigarette. I was frozen, horrified, and speechless. I locked eyes with her, and they both glanced at each other, not sure what to say. I felt a deep betrayal in my gut that turned into a murderous rage. "With our daughter in the other room? Are you people insane?" My wife stuttered and tried to justify. "You weren't supposed to be home until next week. You should have called and told me." My throat tightened in pain. "As if this is somehow my fault? How could you do this? I thought you were happy." She stared at me as if I was a ghost. I glared at the man she was with and felt a murderous rage boiling inside me.
I would have killed that man. I would have beat him so hard. I don't know. I would do the same thing as Chester.
Unfortunately, I knew this dick. "Whitman, you piece of crap. Get the hell out of my house." I walked out, went into my daughter's room, and sat next to her. She looked up at me with her big, sad brown eyes. "What were they doing in there, Daddy?" I felt a sting in my heart and tried not to show her that I was in pain, but she could tell. "It doesn't matter, baby. All I can tell you is that no matter what happens, I will always be there for you, and I love you more than you can imagine." "I love you too." I hugged her tightly. "Pack up a few of your clothes, okay? We're gonna go to a hotel." I walked towards the front door with her, and my wife yelled, "Where the hell do you think you're going with my daughter? To a safe place where she isn't exposed to your madness." Whitman came out behind her. "You're a small, pathetic, weak little man. I'm shocked that you're surprised to see your wife with me. Clearly, I'm more of a man than you'll ever be. That's why she chose me, you little weasel." My fists clenched, and I felt the veins popping out of my forehead. I wanted to kill him so badly. Then I noticed my daughter watching me with fear in her eyes. I couldn't do it in front of her. She had been through enough. "You're lucky my daughter's here, or I'd end you." We went to a hotel, and 2 days later, I was awoken to a loud knock at my door. I opened it and saw a dainty little man. "You've been served." I read the summons. "A custody hearing? What?" I sat in court and watched Whitman's lawyer prance around and lie his face off. "Your Honor, this man is an unhinged drunk and a serious danger to the well-being of his daughter." I was horrified. I screamed out to the jury, "Everything he just said is a complete lie. Just ask my daughter." "We object, Your Honor." Sustained. I covered my face with my hands in horror. A week later, the judge spoke. "Will the defendant please rise? After hearing both sides clearly, I am giving full custody of your daughter to your wife." My heart sank. Then I saw my poor, sweet little angel fall to her knees and weep. "Please, let me be with my daddy. Please, I want my daddy." Her weeping tore my heart in half. I tried to comfort her. "Stay strong, darling. Daddy will always be here for you. It'll be okay." A month after the trial, they They moved into Whitman's big mansion on his private island, and I was left with nothing. But I was not about to go down easily and lay down and die for these jerks. I had to make a plan, so I sat across from my FBI agent friend, Argento. Whitman's having a dinner party on his island tomorrow night. I'm going undercover so I can sneak on, kidnap my daughter back, and take her to live in Italy. He looked at me like I was completely insane, which I was. I'm only telling you because I know you hate Whitman as well. He nodded.
Oh my god. I have a bad feeling about this video. I don't think I'd choose a good video, but let's keep on.
Yeah, I do believe he's an excessively corrupt individual. That's why I'm gonna do you a huge favor. I'm gonna break into his safe and take pictures of all of his transactions. You'll have everything you need to bring him down. He grinned, excited at the possibility. What do you need from me? A speedboat. The next day, I snuck up to a small cove near the shore of Whitman's Island and started changing into my catering outfit, bow tie and all. In exactly 24 hours, Argento has arranged for a speedboat to pick me up at the shore. In my backpack, I had a marine GPS, a handheld radio, a flare gun, a prepaid cell phone, a small dive flashlight, a safe cracking mechanism, and a knife.
Is he
in
gonna
case.
kill him?
I'd also dyed my hair blonde and grew a goatee, just in case I served my ex-wife. Plus, I paid $600 for 2 Italian passports and 2 one-way tickets to Italy. I made sure everything
Imagine scrolling just like you do on TikTok, but for games that you can play on your phone. This is one of the coolest apps.
was in my... He squinted his eyes and I made sure everything was in my bag. Went to leave the cove, then saw a Latin man glaring at me. What are you doing back here? Oh, sorry. I just wanted to change in privacy. I'm way early for the catering gig. He squinted his eyes and stared directly at me. I don't remember seeing your picture on the catering list. I was a last-minute addition. I replaced someone. Your boss didn't inform me of that. Sorry. He gets distracted. You mean she? My heart dropped. Terror creeped up in me. Was I seriously about to be busted this early? She. Right. I've done so many of these gigs. I forget who I work for sometimes. Look, this is not the gig to be messing around. Whitman's security team are all trained killers, and I don't mean that as a metaphor. If they catch any of my staff out of line, it falls back on me, and they will bring down the harshest punishments. My gut churned. I understand, sir. I'll be on my best behavior. You better be. I'll see you over at the catering tent in 20 minutes. He walked away, and I could breathe again. I headed towards the mansion. I studied the premises and clocked how many exits there were and where each one led out to. I memorized how many security guards were standing at each exit and where they weren't. I'm no soldier. I'm just a desperate data analyst with a belly full of rage and a justified goal to save my daughter. There was a marble dock, a gravel road, and the main house was the size of a small hotel. There was a guest compound, a helicopter pad, and a service area where the catering trucks were already unloading. The security men wore dark polos and walked the perimeter on a 20-minute loop. There were 6 of them I could count, plus the head of security, a man named Burke, who was built like a refrigerator covered in tattoos.
Oh my god.
I checked in with my boss. Go work on making salads. I made my way into the kitchen, and as I stepped into the hallway, I saw my ex-wife, Whitman, and my daughter, Sophie, all being led in from a back door. My heart sank as I watched this asshole holding my daughter's hand. I could tell by the look on Sophie's face. She was forced to hold his hand. My ex-wife had a cold, stoic look that showed me her new life was not all it was cracked up to be. I kept my head down as I passed them, and they didn't even acknowledge I existed. I was the help, and Whitman acted like the powerful elitist. These types pretend the help doesn't exist. My anger grew after seeing this loser prancing around my daughter, as if she owed him something. I felt the sadness coming from Sophie, and wanted to just grab her in my arms and run away. But I knew I had to be smart. I whispered to myself, I'll get you out of here soon enough, darling. There were about 50 guests here for dinner, and I was assigned a table far away from where my daughter was at the main table. I waited for dessert, then slipped out of the kitchen with a tray of glassware, walked the long way around the back of the house, set the tray down behind a hedge, and went up the service stairs into the back of the West Wing. I snuck into Whitman's office, checked for any surveillance cameras, made sure the coast was clear, and went over to his safe. I plugged in my safe cracking device and saw the numbers start turning, trying to locate the secret code. Each minute that went by felt like an eternity. The safe cracker read 70% solved, then 80% solved, then 90% solved. The door handle to the office opened up and I ducked down behind Whitman's desk. I managed to hide the safe cracking device with a folded napkin, so whoever was inside wouldn't be able to see it. I peeked around the edge of the desk and my guts went into knots when I saw Whitman enter and approach his desk. I curled up, closed my eyes, and hid below his desk in a panic. I held my breath, terrified. I could do serious prison time if I got caught right now. From my POV, I could see his feet on the other side of the desk. He went to search for something, didn't find it, then made his way around to the front of his desk, a lot closer to where I was hiding. I curled up into the tiniest ball I could and stayed as still as possible. He was 2 feet away from me, and if he actually sat down at his desk, he would see me for sure. He opened up a drawer, took something out, and then my heart pounded when the beeping sound of my safe cracking device went off. It had opened up the safe successfully. Whitman stiffened. He turned to try and see where the sound came from, and I shook my head in rage because there was no way he wouldn't catch me now, especially if he sees his safe has been opened. He was about to walk over to check on his safe when his head of security walked in. Sir, your wife wanted me to tell you that she needs you to make a toast. Ah, right, okay. I got lucky as hell because he walked out. I waited a few seconds, then rushed over to his safe, opened it up, and took out a case file labeled Transactions. I took pictures of every name, number, receipt, and amount of money through 10 pages. I went to text every picture to Argento, then realized I had no reception at all. This island was too remote, and Whitman didn't want anyone being able to contact anyone on the outside. I climbed out of the window, and then saw I was 1 floor above the ground. There were some bushes below, and I awkwardly climbed out of the window, dangled as low as I could so the fall wouldn't be as hard, then dropped. I landed hard on the grass and turned my ankle a bit. Ah, crap. It wasn't a bad sprain, but it hurt. I stood up, turned the corner of the house, and bumped right into Burke, the head of security. What the hell are you doing here? Hello, sir. Sorry, I was looking for the bathroom and got totally lost. He glared at me. As I grew terrified, he'd know I was lying. I looked down at the ground, and he got closer to me. I smell bullshit. Why are you all nervous? I've just heard that you guys are seriously badass dudes that are not to be messed with, and I guess it scares me. It did. His hard exterior broke into a smile, and he smacked me hard on my shoulder. That's right, don't you forget it. And the bathroom's that way, idiot. He walked away. I let out a sigh of relief. I made it back to the catering truck and saw my boss. Where the hell have you been? I just called security. I was searching for the bathroom, sir. Stop lying. Our portables are right there. He pointed to the portable bathrooms, and then I saw Burke and 2 security guys approaching us. Burke saw me. Yeah, I already saw that dope. He's fine. My boss had it out for me. No, he's doing something weird because he knew the bathrooms were right there. Burke tensed up, glared at me. His security guards also stared daggers at me. I didn't know what else to do but run. I took off in the
Oh no. They're chasing him in a forest.
opposite direction and made my way towards the back of the house. Burke and his 2 security guards chased me, but I was a lot quicker. All that muscle definitely slowed them down. I made it to a side window and hid behind an air conditioning generator. The security guys passed by me, and as they did, I heard Burke speak into his walkie. We got a code 9. We got a code 9. Don't alert the guests just yet, but be on the lookout for one of the wait staff. I waited for them to pass, then quickly snuck into a back window. I just needed to get my daughter, convince her to come with me, and then make it to the speedboat across the island. I rushed into the hallway and started searching through each bedroom door. I needed to change clothes quickly, since they would be looking for a waiter. I found the master bedroom and rushed in and closed the door behind me. I can't believe I was about to steal a suit from the asshole that stole my wife, but desperate times call for desperate measures. I went into his closet, found a slick black suit, and quickly put it on. I stepped out of the closet and saw my ex-wife staring at me in shock. She instantly recognized me and dropped her champagne glass. My disguise did nothing for me being this close to her. What in the hell do you think you're doing? Flashes of everything she'd done put me into a state of murderous rage. I should ask you that, you traitor. Her eyes bulged because she knew I was speaking the truth about her. There were a few things I really wanted to know. Did you plan destroying me together? Don't be ridiculous. You methodically, strategically lied about me at a live trial, by the way, and committed perjury. And you're calling me ridiculous? Why do you have on my husband's suit, weirdo? Are you really that sick? You're trying to be like him now? No, I don't give a shit about his suits. I came here to finish some business, and I need to blend in. Do you really think Sophie doesn't know the truth about you and your sicko new husband? Sophie knows exactly who you really are, because you've been lying to her, poisoning her with so much bullshit, and you're too dumb to know that she's too smart to believe it. My little girl knows exactly who I am.
True. Just the next.
Why'd you touch my phone?
What do you mean? I didn't. What do you mean?
This is Don't Touch My Phone anti-theft app. Detect thieves using anti-theft alarm. Maintain the security of your phone's privacy.
Based on how much I love her, and I bet that terrifies you. She turned cold. Part of her knew I was right and didn't want to admit it. Why are you really here and what are you planning? I grinned, even though I was so pissed. You'll see. She grew terrified, then darted for the bedroom door. I cut her off, grabbed her by the arm, walked her into the bathroom, shoved her inside, and barricaded the door so she was never getting out. Let me out of here right now. I will have you killed. Let me out. I checked my dumb suit in the mirror, then walked out. I kicked in all the bedroom doors and didn't see Sophie in her bedroom or any of the guest rooms. I entered the main ballroom area as if I truly belonged there and grabbed a glass of champagne. I had taken my fair share of acting classes and knew how to look important and blend in. I just had to sell it long enough to find Sophie and get out. I passed by a few guests and they stared at me, wondering who I was and how they knew me. On my way to the other side of the house, I ran into a bald man that was loaded with jewelry. I tried to walk past him, but he gripped onto my arm. Where do I know you from? I put on a slight British accent. You don't. Whitman brought me here for reasons that I cannot explain. Excuse me. I walked away, leaving him dumbfounded. Then I saw Burke and both of his security guards. Burke saw Whitman and pulled him aside. He said something in Whitman's ear, and Whitman turned red with rage. He gestured and pointed at Burke to keep searching everywhere, and then Burke stood up on a podium and addressed his guests. Excuse me, everyone. Excuse me. I am so sorry to interrupt, but it has come to my attention that there's an intruder among us. There were gasps all around. I even tapped the guy next to me, as if he did something wrong. I'm only telling everyone because I hold all of you to be the most important people in my life, and you're only here because you were personally invited and loved by me and my wife. Where is my wife, by the way? He searched the crowd, and everyone looked everywhere. I pretended to look, then started to sneak away. If anyone here doesn't recognize someone, please bring it to my attention. The bald man immediately pointed directly at me and yelled, "Intruder, right there!" Two party guests grabbed both of my arms and snarled at me. I kicked one in the nuts, then headbutted the other across the bridge of the nose and took off running across the living room. I slammed into a waiter that was carrying several champagne glasses, and his drinks crashed everywhere. Burke and his two security guys chased me. I shoved my way past a few more guests, sprinted across the entire house, and rushed into a play area where several children were playing. I spotted Sophie, rushed up to her, and she immediately recognized me. "Daddy!" She threw her little arms around my neck, and it took everything in me not to burst into tears right there. "Darling, I need you to listen to me, okay?" She nodded with her sweet little angelic face. "I'm here to take you away from these bad people so you can come live with me, but I need you to listen to everything I say, okay? Okay, Daddy. This is going to be a fun, exciting adventure." Great! I took her by the hand and rushed out of a side door. We ran as fast as her little legs would go and reached the shore to see the speedboat. For the first time all night, I thought that I actually had a chance at pulling this off. I smiled to myself. A tear spilled
Get
down
on
my
the
cheek as we
speedboat.
approached the speedboat. Then
Get in the speedboat.
My heart almost exploded out of my chest when I saw and heard the loudest explosion of my life. The speedboat burst into flames, and I had no idea how it happened. Sophie and I got sprung back off of our feet and landed in the sand. I was devastated. I got so close. Sophie started crying out of sheer fright. I looked back behind me and saw Burke holding a remote-controlled detonator and grinning from ear to ear. He called out to me. I know it's a little early for fireworks, but I always loved a good show. Before they could reach us, I quickly whispered to Sophie, "Run and hide on the other side of the shore and wait. I swear to you, baby girl, I'll find you." She quickly took off running and was able to escape before Burke and his 2 security guards arrived. I quickly hid my burner phone that had all the photographic evidence underneath the sand and marked it off in my mind where it is, so I would be able to find it. It's about 3 feet away from a wooden post. Burke grabbed me, shoved my face into the sand, and zip-tied my hands behind my back. "Got you, you little bitch." They dragged me behind the house and into a small shed that had power tools all over the wall. They sat me down in a chair, and Burke didn't speak a word. I was trembling in horror, but did my best to cover it. He wrapped his hands in gauze and proceeded to start slamming
Oh no. Are they gonna like fight him or like?
punches across my face and into my gut. All I could do was grit my teeth and hope my body held up long enough to survive this onslaught. Burke had a lot of fun beating on me. I thought I might as well try and get in his head. Maybe give myself a chance of escaping. I spit out some blood and smirked at him. "I bet you think you're pretty tough, beating up on a tied-up man, don't you? Tied up or not, I would own you. Start talking. Why are you here?" "I know why he's here." Whitman stepped out of the shadows. "What I'd like to really know is that my suit?" I laughed, flashing a set of bloodied teeth. "It sure is, and I've been bleeding all over it." Whitman got right in my face. "I know you were in my safe. It has fingerprint detection and tracked someone else. Why were you in there?" "Wasn't me." Whitman nodded at Burke. That prompted him to grab a drill and put a hole through my hand.
Oh my.
"You could at least take me
Oh my God. What?
to dinner before tickling me like that." They both stared at me, shocked. "I will give you one chance to speak before my man ends you and buries you next to where the others are." That terrified me beyond belief. They had done this many times before. If I was going to escape, I would have to find a way to do it while they were taking me to the graveyard. "Where's his cell phone?" Burke shook his head. He didn't have one on him. Whitman started sweating. "He must have. Did you check everywhere?" "Yes." "Fine. You actually made this more convenient for me. You'll happen to go missing, and no one will ever find you. Even if you did take pictures and stash your phone somewhere, it doesn't matter. It'll turn up. Get rid of him." He nodded to Burke and left. Burke lifted me out of the chair, and as he did, I was able to grab my small knife out of my boot without him seeing. Burke and both security guards walked me out to a grassy area that smelled awful. I gagged and almost got sick all over myself. I was clutching onto my knife, and they forced me down to my knees.
Fred G.
The 2 guards started digging out a shallow grave as I trembled and panicked. I used the knife to slice and cut into my zip ties. I got loose and froze. I'm no murderer. I wouldn't even know what to do with the knife, so I decided to pretend to still be tied up, and once they had dug deep enough, I got into the grave. Burke was surprised to see me step in so easily. I laid down and looked up at him. "Come on, bury me. Let's get this over with. If I can't live with my daughter, I don't want to live anyway." Burke aimed a handgun down at my head, and I closed my eyes and prayed. Terror coursed through me. If he pulled that trigger, I was done. He aimed it at me for what felt like an eternity, and then lowered it while his guys started burying me alive. Right before the last pile of dirt covered my face, I sucked in a huge, long, deep breath and held it. I must have been under the dirt for what felt really long, but was only about 90 seconds. Then I used my free hands and the knife to scrape, swing, and claw my out of the ground. It seemed to take a lot longer than I thought, and I was feeling my lungs starting to collapse. I was seeing stars and felt myself starting to lose consciousness. I fought hard and thought of my sweet little girl that was waiting for me. "Come on, you got this. Dig deep." I had to survive for her, so I fought and fought, not caring
Oh my God.
about how painful the wound in my hand was, and the fact that I was a trained ocean diver seriously saved me. I made it out and gasped for air. I got up, caught my breath, and barely recovered. I made my way back to where my daughter might be. My mind was racing because I had to figure out some other way of transportation. Luckily, they all thought I was dead, so I made my way back to where I hid the phone, grabbed it, and then went the long way around the island to where I hoped my daughter was. I stepped through some trees and saw Whitman standing in front of my daughter and scolding her. She was staring down at the ground, crying. "How dare you disobey me like this? How dare you go against your mother and me, you little obnoxious brat?" Then my ex-wife stepped out of the shadows behind him. "Your crazy father locked me in the closet. What kind of a person does that? That's where you belong, Mom. Hidden in a closet where you can't say any more lies that hurt Daddy." I smiled to myself after hearing that. I loved it. I want to be with Daddy. I want to go home. Instead of getting sad, she turned to Whitman, took a step towards him, and kicked him as hard as she could right in the nuts. Whitman keeled over to his knees in agony. Then my daughter tried to run, but he tripped her. He raised his hand like he was going to hit her, and I lost it. I saw red, clutched onto the knife, and charged at him. "Yo, mother effer!" He was shocked and horrified when he saw me. So was my dumb wife. I held my knife high, gritted my teeth, and brought it down upon him. "No one lays a hand on my daughter, you piece of shit." I plunged it into his chest, and he dropped. I stared down at him. My hands were shaking. I turned to my daughter and pulled her in close. My ex-wife gasped and covered her mouth in shock. My daughter ran to me and tightly hugged me around my waist. "It's okay, darling. We're leaving here." My ex-wife looked at our daughter, then at me. She had a betrayed look in her eyes. "Don't even act like you're the victim here, you stupid bitch. You did this to yourself. You ruined our family, but I won't let you ruin our daughter." She kneeled down to Whitman. I looked at both of them and realized how pathetic and small they both seemed. He was bleeding and crying like a baby. "Who's the weasel now, you dumb prick?" I took my daughter's hand, walked with her to the other side of the island, and then shot my flare gun up into the air. Within a few minutes, I saw a speedboat approaching the shore. It was the Coast Guard. He pulled up to the shore and called called out. You all right? I had to think fast. My daughter and I are in real trouble. There are men here that tried to kidnap her, and we barely escaped with our lives. I obviously wasn't going to tell him the truth. Sorry to hear that. Hop on. He tossed us both life vests, and we swam out and climbed up onto his boat. He wrapped my daughter in a towel and gave her some hot chocolate. He drove us back to the mainland. We docked, and he approached us. Just wait here. I'll notify the police. He went inside his cabin, which gave me the chance to take Sophie's hand, jump off the boat, and take off running. An hour later, we were on the first plane to Italy. About 3 weeks later, I heard that Whitman survived, but after I sent all the photo evidence to Argento, he had every single person on that list arrested by the FBI. Whitman got life in prison, and it turns out that he was into way worse criminal activities than anyone ever imagined. My ex-wife became the laughingstock of her hometown because the word got out about what she did to me. She can't even go to the grocery store without someone pointing and laughing at her. The whole town knew that she and Whitman had made up all the lies. I stood in court in front of the same judge that gave my ex-wife custody. I am so sorry, sir. Words cannot describe the guilt I feel for not believing you. I'll regret it for the rest of my life. I nodded, vindicated. I was cleared by the FBI, but chose to raise Sophie in Italy anyway. We like to sit out on our front porch, sip on lemonade, and watch the sunset together. She still holds the teddy bear I got her and sleeps with it every night.
That was a great video. So that is all for today. I think the story is better than Zach-D Films. I just have to say it. Just look at this. Leave 5 stars. What is this? Thank you for 4 million subscribers. Thank you for 4 million. Yalla.